We're going to make tonight sort of Thai, sort of Vietnamese type thing. Some lemongrass chicken rice paper rolls with a spicy peanut dipping sauce. So the first thing we've got to do is do our chicken. So I've got a little bowl here because we're going to need to marinate our chicken. I'm using chicken thighs. Okay, I'm just going to put them over there for a minute. Because in the marinade you're going to want fish sauce, some brown sugar, some garlic, some lemongrass obviously, pardon me, lime juice. Yeah, that's it. So I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of brown sugar in there, and then just trying to think what I'm using so that I don't end up getting that all dirty. And then I want 2 tablespoons of my fish sauce. 1, 2. Now I've told you all about these sort of things before, so I'm not going to bore you tonight. Let me get me a little knife. So I'm just going to mince. These are really small garlic cloves. Garlic cloves. Oh dear me, I ain't enough drink yet. Tastes fine. It don't taste off. Very unsettling, that top. There you go. Drink me while I shut. Right, so I'm just going to peel that garlic and mince in a few cloves in there, and then we'll get on to the lemongrass. So I've used my garlic crusher and put that in there. And what we're now going to do is I want to get me a little grater, and we want to grate up that lemongrass. We want about 2 tablespoons of grated lemongrass. If you get lemongrass paste, you can use that instead if you want. Is there anything actually going in? Oh yeah, it's on the back of that. So it doesn't actually look like anything's happening. Lemongrass is getting smaller. And that's going to be our marinade. We'll give it a mix together. And then your chicken thighs, you want about 350 grams for this. This should make about, I think it's 10, yeah, we're going to use 10 rice papers. And then of course, don't forget, you want about a tablespoon of lime juice. I thought it was looking a bit, didn't look like there was an awful lot there. Most of these marinades, they never actually seem to be as much there as you think there's going to be. Or they tell you to there should be, if you're with me. Alright. So that's half a lime. Oh, so let's just have a little bit more, might as well. Right, so we're now ready to start chopping up that chicken. Now, we want the chicken nice and thinly sliced because these are going to go into the the rice paper rolls. Now, how much have I got here? It looks to me like I've got a lot more than 300. Yeah, see, I only want half of that. So I've got about 3 chicken thighs here. So like I say, we want it thinly sliced because we're going to need to be able to spread this into our rolls. Now I said to you, well actually no, I don't think I've told you what's going in this yet, have I? So in addition to this, you're going to want some rice vermicelli noodles, some carrot, some white or green, depending on where you want to look at it, and red cabbage or lettuce. Okay, I've got some sweetheart lettuce, sweetheart cabbage. I'm not going to use any red. I've got some freshly picked mint, lemon mint in this case, from our back garden, as it were. I've got some Thai basil. If you don't have Thai basil, you can use coriander if you like. What else have we got? We're going to want some more garlic. I think we want more garlic. Can't remember now. You're going to want some. Oh, actually, I might be getting ahead of myself here, because remember, we're also making this dipping sauce. Now, this needs cooking because the spring rolls, as it were, well, I say spring rolls, they're not spring rolls, are they? The rolls, oh, there's a bit of bone in there, felt that. They're not going to be cooked. So we need to get this chicken cooked and then allow it to cool a bit. And while that's doing that, we can, of course, prepare the other bits that are going to go in the spring rolls. So that chicken's all in there now. Now, you can prepare this the night before and just leave it in the fridge overnight. If you haven't got the time, like we haven't, you're going to need to let it sort of soak in there, if you like, for about 15 minutes. So I'm going to set that to one side, okay. Now, because obviously I've used the same, I've done my chicken on here, make sure you're giving your board a thorough clean down, or use an alternative board. Okay. So we now need to prepare, while that's marinating, we need to prepare the veg that are going in the rolls, and equally we need to prepare the dipping sauce. So I've got about 70 grams there of the rice vermicelli noodles. I'm just going to tip over them some boiling water, and we'll just let them soak for a little bit, okay, and then we'll drain them, rinse them in cold water, and then I've got a plate here ready to start laying out the ingredients we want. So I've peeled a carrot, I've bottomed, if you like, and peeled the outer leaves off the cabbage, and I removed the hard core in the middle. And with the cabbage, we essentially probably don't need all this cabbage. We just want to finely shred it. Now you could use a, a food processor, a mandolin, or you can just do it by hand. It's up to you. But we want, according to the recipe, which I can't remember where I got it from now, about a cupful, it says. Bear in mind you're going to be making about 10 rolls, and so obviously there's not going to be an awful lot in each roll, so probably that half a cabbage is more than enough. We'll wait and see. I'll just put that there. And now with our carrot, we want to julienne our carrot. So what I'm doing at the moment, I'm just cutting into thin slices, which we can then cut into thinnish matchsticks. He says, and they look more like, I don't know, whatever. Bear in mind they've got to be they've got to be short enough that we're going to wrap them in these. I think are they 8-inch? Can't remember. I can't read now. Oh, can't read. Oh, I'm looking at a bit, but I'm sitting thinking they look a bit small, and I'm looking at what it says there for the chicken sides. 8.5 inch. So I'm going to put my carrot on there. In a minute I'm just going to drain that. And by the way, we want about the same amount of carrot as we do cabbage. In a minute I'll drain them, give them a rinse in cold water, and we'll just set them aside. They'll be ready then. So into each roll we're going to have some carrot, some of the chicken, some of the cabbage. So there's my Thai basil leaves. My mint I've just roughly sort of shredded with my hands, just to make it a bit smaller. Okay, rice vermicelli has been drained and rinsed with cold water, and they're just chilling on the side there. So we've got ingredients ready, but we need to cook our chicken. And then while our chicken is cooking, or cooling down after cooking, we'll make our dipping sauce. So just a suitable pan, oil. You want some sort of neutral vegetable oil, okay. Get that on a highish heat. We want to get that nice and hot, and then we'll be chucking that in there and giving that a good mix around. Now you're going to want your brown sugar, your garlic, your peanut butter. It said smooth, but we've got crunchy because I like crunchy. You want some white vinegar, some hoisin sauce, chilli or chilli paste. I think that's it, isn't it? Oh, a bit of milk, a bit of garlic. Did I say garlic? And that's it. So we're going to get our oil up to temperature, and then we'll get cooking that. Well, that oil's nice and hot. So in goes that chicken. Got a lot of blood washing up in that sink. So I'm fortunate that although these are Pyrex and they're alright in the dishwasher, these little glass ones aren't. So they have to be washed up by hand. Right, let's lower the temperature a bit. So I'm just going to whack that temperature up, and once that starts cooking. Now, a couple of things to note. One is the amount of moisture that's in that chicken means it's now wetter than it was when I put it in there with the marinade. And secondly, I don't know why it is, but you see these marinades when you watch them make them, and particularly that one, it's quite a dark brown marinade. Well, this certainly ain't, is it? And of course we don't have all that moisture, so I'll turn the heat up even higher. So that's been chicken out, drained, and we're just going to put that there to cool a bit. So I've got myself a bowl there. Now, cumin seeds in there. 1 teaspoon. Right, I want 2 teaspoons of soft brown sugar. Okay. I want 1 finely chopped clove of garlic. So there you go. There's 2 little ones. Ooh, a bit of skin there. Where's that one? Get out. So that's going in there. Now, if you do find, and we'll wait and see, the dipping sauce doesn't seem to sort of come together, or it sort of starts separating or whatever, then you can whack it in the microwave and just gently warm it, and that'll make it come together, as it were. Okay, so the garlic's in there. Now, I said to you, you're going to want some chilli. You want about half a chilli, okay. I'm going to de-seed this one. And actually, I think I've said before, the bit that's really the hot bit is that fibrous white bit that the seeds are in. You know, people talk about removing the seeds, but if you don't like the heat so much, make sure you get rid of them bits. So that wants finely chopping as well. You want 1 tablespoon of white vinegar. Okay, probably not thrown out. And then hoisin sauce, 2 tablespoons. Okay, my tablespoon measure is a bit dirty, so I'm using that spoon instead. In that goes. And then, should have done that the other way around, shouldn't I? Get yourself another spoon. And you want about 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. Like I say, got a little bit more than I should do there, but who cares? Well, I peel them out. And I've got on me lemon that I used earlier for something else, for the zest, and I've used that to de-chilify my hands and the board. So now we just want to try and get this mixed together. And like I said to you, if you're finding it's not mixing, just splash me. Just warm it up gently in the microwave. Could probably have done with using chilli paste. Doesn't really matter, does it? At the end of the day, it's just there's bigger chunks of chilli in it, and also obviously bear in mind, because it is crunchy peanut butter, it's never going to be a smooth paste, but it is all now starting to come together quite nicely. So it's quite a solid dipping sauce, if you like. Okay, so what you do is, this is where you add some milk. Okay, about 3 tablespoons of milk. It doesn't matter whether it's semi-skimmed, full fat, whatever, or even skimmed, or if you want to, just put water in it. So I'm just going to add some of that, about 3 tablespoons of milk, mix it up, and that's our sauce done. And then we'll be ready to start doing our rolls. I've already started. What we do is take one of our rice paper, and now the best thing I had, actually, to be honest, that was big enough for these, was that griddle pan. So I've got cold water in there. I'll just take that out. Now you may think, oh, that's never going to bend, but it's still absorbing water. Across the middle, put some of that Thai basil. Then you take about 1/10 of that chicken. Bear in mind, obviously, you've got to make 10 of these. We then take some cabbage. We lay that on top. Can you actually see what I'm doing there? Can't do that, pan's in the way, innit? I'll move that in a second. And then you take a little bundle of carrot. That goes on there. Get some of your noodles and just wrap it once around your fingers like that. And then that's just the right size. And then add a little bit of that mint across the top. And then we lift that up, fold that over, fold in the ends. I'll move that so you can see better where I'll do the next one. And then we just finish rolling it up, and there's our little package all ready to go. So, let me do that again. So, you take your rice wrapper, in it goes, dunk it, pull it out, take it off, Thai basil across the middle, as such, not all the way across obviously, because you're going to be folding in. Take some of that chicken, lay that across the middle, some of the cabbage, lay that across the middle, a little bit of that carrot, lay that across the middle, get some of your noodles, get enough just like that to wrap around your hands, that's just the right size, on that goes. couple of little bits of that mint. If the mint's small enough, you don't have to cut it up. Right, so this is being a bugger. Folding up on itself. Oh, you little shit. Just because you're watching this one. It's not going to have it. So we roll that over. Fold the ends over into the middle. And then we just do another little sort of tightish roll up. And here finally are our lemongrass chicken rice paper rolls with chicken marinated in lemongrass, garlic and whatever, wrapped with sliced green cabbage, carrot, some mint leaves, some Thai basil and noodles in a sort of, well, it is a peanut, but a peanut dip. Now, if you want to be a bit flash, make it look a little bit more attractive, get a nice sharp knife and slice them in half. If you want to serve them up for people, just so they can see what they look like inside before they eat them. Actually, let's have a bite without the dark sauce. Nice crunch, you're getting chicken flavour through. I'm falling apart in minute. So let's try this with a bit of peanut. I've got a dodgy front tooth, so it's a bit difficult me biting them. It's getting sorted in a few weeks. That sauce gives it just that little bit extra. It's not overpowering. There's not much heat in it. Just adds another level of flavour. So there you go. Better go away and feed the wife now and eat them. Your lemongrass chicken rice paper wraps or rolls or whatever.